Hey everybody, this is Kim Stevens, your community leader for the Women of the Channel Leadership Network. Welcome to another WOW session. And I cannot wait for you to get to know the amazing Dr. Renee Pizarro, who is the Global Digital Sales and Commercial Segment Leader for HPE. Dr. Renee, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's a true honor to be part of this community and now to be able to deep dive a little bit with you on this one-on-one. So thank you for the privilege.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome. I'm going to start with something I have been meaning to ask you, and that is, tell me about the doctor. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So this actually started as a running joke with my husband. My husband has 2 PhDs because he's an overachiever. And we've been together for 27 years and I'm uber competitive. And he started joking and he said, well, you know, now that I've got 2 doctors, you at least have to go get 1, right? And I said, no, I'm not, going back to school. That's a lot of commitment. That's a lot of work. But, he planted the seed. And my father passed away in October. And in January, I called the university and enrolled. And I bring up my father's passing because it was one of those kind of trigger events that make you reflect on kind of your accomplishments to date and also your expectations of yourself and what they've added to your history as your parents. And I knew that it would make him so proud. And I did it for me, but also inspired by both males in my life that were very meaningful figures, very supportive and encouraging of me being an independent, strong female with my own thoughts and my own contributions to provide to others. And that's how it really kind of emerged. What
a beautiful tribute to your favorite guys in the whole wide world. So
yeah.
That's wonderful. So what did you get your PhD in?
Organizational psychology with a specialization in leadership, which means that I had to learn a lot about leadership styles and theories. I read, I'm kidding you not, over probably 800 research articles and different methodologies and studies across companies like HP Inc. Before it became HPE. Yeah. It was studied very much as a leadership company, as well as GE and IBM. A lot of the great technical companies that we know and love, Intel, Cisco, and so it's been a fascinating journey to learn leadership from that angle. And then my dissertation focus was really on Millennial Talent Retention, which is a very hot topic in the industry. And I was fortunate enough to be able to pick my research topic in already having had experience leading millennials, working in a multi-generational environment. And then COVID hit. And COVID actually had quite a significant impact on my research as well. I was one of the first research students in the university to publish research during or right as COVID had been probably about 8 months into COVID. And that added an interesting scholarly dimension to my work.
First of all, how would you describe your management style?
I would definitely say that if I were to put it in scholarly terms, it would be considered transformational leadership, which is a very specific leadership style. I focus a lot on my people. My joy comes from, you see, when you start putting the pieces together, or help an employee, an individual grow and blossom and put the pieces together through their discovery journey, it's like seeing themselves through someone else's eyes for the first time, things that they didn't think they were capable of doing or that they never envisioned themselves doing. Also discovering their own styles, that brings me joy. Putting them up front brings me joy, helping them develop their career. And when I look at my legacy of now 25 years and change at HPE, I can think back to these different individuals that I still get connected, either stay connected through LinkedIn or through other means, because I was able to help their careers or help them make tough decisions, right? I had a number of female employees that really wanted to get out of the workforce for a while. And it was really difficult for them to make that decision because they felt like they had invested so much in building their careers. And now they wanted or needed to step aside for a while to be moms or to be caregivers to aging parents. And they were feeling very guilty about that decision. First, guilty to their families and their loved ones, because they were feeling like the fact that they were hesitating was a betrayal of their love to them or their commitment. But second, also a disappointment, or it's almost like they were letting themselves down because they had to step away from their careers to do these things. So it's been quite a joy to be able to help people kind of get to wherever they need to get. And that really is what I feel would be my legacy as a leader, is to help others kind of find their way and do what's right for them.
When you look back, Renee, at everything that you've done, everything, whether it be personal or professional, I'll let you pick three things. What are some three things that you are just most proud of? What are the things that pop into your head?
My mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2017. And at the time, I had a team that I had worked with already for about 5 years. And I really had worked on very early career people, nurturing their leadership skills, very talented, egos maybe a little large, right? But really worked very closely with these two individuals to mentor and coach. And when my mom got sick, my world just kind of came crumbling down, right? But I made one phone call to both of these individuals. And I said, you know what? I need to be with my mother and be a daughter and a caregiver right now. And I need to hand you the keys to the organization. This is the moment where I believe in you. I've trained you. I've showed you everything that I know from a skill set, and I know you can do it. And I really need to be able to step off and focus on mom. And both of them handle that with such grace and success, and the organization ran better than when I was around. And that made me so proud, right? Because as a leader, one of the other things you want to do on behalf of your organization is leave it in a manner that it can run smoothly without you, right?
Yeah.
That's a true testament of you having built a sustainable organization. So that would be one thing that I would say is very much at the top of this list. And these people are still with the company, and they've been promoted, and they continue to be successful. The second thing I would say is really having been able to be true to my own passions and pursuits and ambitions while raising a beautiful, strong, wonderful teenager who is going to be 16 this year. And she challenges me at every turn. But my husband will tell you it's because she and I are very similar in terms of our personalities. And the third thing is, again, I would say my graduating with my degree after 4 years of very tumultuous things, my grandmother passing, my mother getting diagnosed. We sold houses and moved into one home to make caregiving easier. So there was a lot of organization change at HPE and transformation. And being able to stay true to a personal education goal outside of the company while having very demanding expectations of my work, as well as demanding needs because of my mom's condition. So I would say that all of those things kind of round out the top three. None of them I could have done without a wonderful support system, both at home and at work.
how do you, Renee, I don't want to call it balance but how do you integrate it all? Like, what are some things that you do to protect what is important in that moment? Like you said, it's family right now, I got to focus, or whatever it is. How do you do that?
I'm very clear on my boundaries. I was inspired by the work of a wonderful author called Dr. Henry Cloud. For all of those listening, check him out. He has some wonderful YouTube videos, and he has a book called Boundaries for Leaders, which I thought was brilliant. I became very disciplined about some of the boundaries, even in my calendar and how I structure my day. There's certain color codes and certain boundaries within my day around time to think, to answer emails, to be strategic, to be tactical. It was really a game changer for me in terms of productivity, in terms of managing my energy level, my rest. I'm religious about my weekends are mine. They belong to my family and to me, because I give a lot to the company throughout the regular work week. And I try to be very disciplined about that. And I take a lot of time to plan out my days. I leave flexibility because stuff happens. But boundaries and being clear on what those priorities are for me have been extremely helpful. What
is one thing that you know now that, geez, don't you wish you knew when you started?
It's really difficult when you start out your career. I was 21 when I started at the company. I didn't really understand the concept of boundaries. I didn't understand the concept of priorities very well. I thought I could get it all done. Probably in my mid-20s, I suffered my first official burnout. Burnout is real. It is a thing. And I'm sure it happens to men at the same rate as women. I haven't read the research, but I tend to think that maybe women are a little bit more susceptible to it because they think they have to do it all, particularly early in your career. I wish I would have understood the concept of really prioritizing the big rocks. Stephen Covey has a wonderful exercise that he does where he has a jar and he puts the big rocks, and then he puts little rocks, and then he puts sand, and then he puts water, right? And I'm very visual. That was a very impactful exercise. When I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, prioritize. I wish my 21-year-old would have known that.
Well, Renee, I just so appreciate you sharing. There's some really good things to think about in here, and I just appreciate you sharing that with our members.
Yes, thank you so much for the time, the energy, and always being so candid and open. And I appreciate the Women of the Channel community because it's been one of those very supportive environments that has allowed me to learn and grow and share experiences with other women that also have a lot of demands on their time and have big jobs and big families. And I gain a lot of wisdom and insight from them and yourself. So thank you for the time and all that you do.
Oh, you made my day. My day is made. So gang, what I would say is once you listen to this, would you please give Renee a shout out, let her know that you appreciate what she has shared. Also, be on the lookout for her on LinkedIn. She does a lot of great posts with her team and extended partners and customers and a whole 9 yards. And I tell you, it just always brings me joy when I see it because these are joyful pictures. So it's just lovely to see her being, spreading her light all over the place. So I hope that you are blessed by this, and we will see you on the next WOW session. You guys take care.